this point, I'll share this. Let me get to us again. Okay, are you seeing the module screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, good. But that's not what I want to look at first. First, I want to go to the scores that you just got. Okay, and I'll get rid of this. Well, it's not covering anything important anyway. These blank spots are just where I fill in how much Zoom credits you have. And once I've given it to you, I wipe them out. So that's why they're blank. The dark band here has your names covered up so no one else sees you, I hope. Okay. What color is this? What did I choose?
Green.
Green? Okay, the green band is your total number of points so far. And L3 is the test you just took. Let me put these in order. Okay, now you can find yourself. Here's your number. You should have seen the score already anyhow, but you can check that I got it inputted correctly. All along, you've been seeing no test for one person here. This is a situation where it's very necessary to back off the course. But rather than trying to wait through a wait list and everything again, this person is going to receive an incomplete. And they're going to take all the tests and everything the same as you, and then they'll get their score. They actually have a year to do it, but nobody waits a year because that's like putting your life on hold. Okay. So this will probably get filled in January, but it won't count for us right now. There's another no test you see up here, and that's a person who is actually taking the test in 10 minutes. Another situation came up where it was not possible to take it at 2 o'clock. So I have that person taking it in the discussion section away from your test, and I'll have that score up later tonight. Now, if you look at the scores, you see a lot of high scores, very many. Oh, yes, you see scores that you wish you could have improved upon. Maybe not your role, but other people might feel that way. I certainly can see some as well. But I'm going to be ending up probably giving a high percentage of high scores or high grades in the class based upon your scores, not based upon anything else. It's only by the numbers. From here on out, in fact, it's always been by the numbers. So here's the points that you have so far. And now how many more points do you have available to get? If you're trying for an A, you're trying for 720 points, as we talked about the other day. In order to get 720 points, you've got to get the difference between whatever score you've got here and 720. How many points are available to be gathered in? 2 100-point tests and 6 points of the Zoom credit. So you have 206 points that you can get. If 206 points won't do it for you, won't bring you to 720, then you cannot get an A. You can certainly get a B though. Okay, and if that number of points won't even bring you to a B, you're probably not even listening to me right now because you probably left the course already. Actually, I think we only had one drop. Okay, so I will post these and actually I will send these to you. Okay. You can take a screenshot, I suppose, off your computer. Are you allowed to, are you able to take a screenshot while we're in shared mode?
Should be able to.
Okay. Well, you can do it, but it's not going to save me any time because I'm going to send them to you anyway. As I said, you just won't see the black band because I'll just take that out of there completely. Okay. Do I worry that the administration and even other instructors see that I give a high number of good grades? Once I gave all but one person in the class an A. They never said a word. They trust you. They trust me anyway. Like I said, I have been here longer than anybody. I don't know if that's worth bragging about or not, but I've been here a long time, and I think I know how to get some of the information across. I'm not a complete idiot. I do know that some people have taken advantage of the online situation to get their answers in other ways. Well, that's going to come around and bite anybody in the ass. I don't care about my vocabulary here. If you run into the next class, or especially physiology, and you uh, didn't didn't really master the material or haven't mastered it before you go into there, it's going to bite you. It's going to bite hard, setting you back a year or more. So if you think that you're actually a little weaker than your scores show, try to review the material between semesters, and certainly before you go into any other prerequisite course that we have. That's the best advice I can give. You may not like to hear it. Nobody necessarily does, but it's the best advice I could give. On the other hand, you look at your scores and you know that you got top scores all the way across, really nice high scores all the way across, and you did it by uh, uh, from your mind when you were taking the test. You got nothing at all to worry about. Okay, let's see, what else did I have? Okay. Okay, I did go over on the video on Thursday, uh, last Thursday, how to calculate your grade. And if you didn't see that, or if you weren't with us, or need to review it, it's posted, and you can take a quick look at it again. Any questions? Okay, I assume I got everybody's grade posted correctly if you're here. Okay. Now be careful when you add these up, that you start at L1 and go to wherever it ends. Right now it ends at P3. It'll end at P4 next week. Do not include the one itself. I've had people do that, and this person here gets a 1 point boost. This person down here doing it gets a 34 point boost, but it doesn't show up on their grade record because what they did, they included that one column of numbers that they should not have. Okay. Okay, I reposted most things. I have not reposted the original material through week 10 because none of that pertains to what you're directly and immediately doing for next week. But I do recall somebody asking me to keep this site open when they go into the next class, because it'll be helpful, and I will. So I will get all of these open as well. I opened these back up while you were taking the test. Okay. And the first thing that's the most important here is look for the indentations. They're not all there anymore. I got rid of some of the indentations as you took the test. Okay. But the histology study guide, it's definitely due, but it definitely has information that you're going to want to know. The function or the definition of each of the items in that histology study guide. So that's important. You can review the recordings if you wish or need to. Come on down. Nothing in week 12, because that's a week we had only one day and we had a test. And now in week 13, the handout for the organ systems, very important for T4. The handout for the organ systems, again, part 1. That's both lecture and lab, and it's still indented. You'll need it for next week. Okay. This first handout has a list of structures and the type of tissue that make them up. The next one is the models with labels. And then there's a tissues lecture lab. It is both lecture and lab, and not with 2 C's. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so you want to read that one too again and study it. Your choice on the recording. Don't worry about spinal nerves any longer. The organ system and organs and systems, part 2. Yes, definitely, you're going to need that for the lab practice. And then the tissues, part 2. You're going to need it with the lab practice. So it's indented. Again, I'll leave my webpage hanging around if you want to get to it quickly. What's there that you could want? Over under unit 4. There it is. I'm sorry I have to make it so small so we can see everything. But here at the very end, some practice histology slides, more histology slides, practice PowerPoint for histology, and here are the study guides for the organs, again, reposted. Photos of the classroom models and the histology slides, the ones that I took and I showed to you. They're all here. Okay. Okay, here's where we left off at the web page. Come down, look for the indented material. Additional models for P4. These were added after I found some really, I thought, pretty good models. So I added them in a couple of semesters ago. I call them additional. I don't know that they're additional any longer. I think we've pretty well incorporated them. But these pictures are going to be part of the test. Realize that this test, the practicum P4, is image intense. You got to have good Wi-Fi this time. Well, you did when we took the muscle practicum. You did when we took P3. So be sure that you have the same strength of signal for this last one. Here's the histology photos. Okay, and this is the same link as on my webpage. Okay, and this one then it goes to the pictures that I have on my webpage. So you don't actually have to go back there, but some people may want to look. And some photos are different. Okay, then we come down. This is the histology and endocrine practice that is due by P4. 4 things were due: histology study guide, 2 chapters, 16 and 17, and now this was the histology and endocrine practice. Okay, this asks you to fill in the blanks or add to the colons here, and the answers weren't hidden from you. The answers were right here. Okay. Some people may think that this is busy work when you have to take a pen or a pencil and just copy one thing onto a blank sheet of paper that's asking the same questions. But that's just one other way of learning the material. You're absolutely welcome to fill out the histology and endocrine practice material yourself without looking at the answers. Maybe check on yourself afterwards. Well, I had 2 C's in lecture a moment ago. I see I have 2 O's in histology. Okay. The practice final exam, the answers to that are also important. The reason the practice final is important, it's just exactly like what the test is going to be. It's going to cover all of the terms in our list of terms. And I didn't pass by the list of terms here. Oh, here they are, right here, all the terms to the final exam. Okay. You need to have in your mind an idea of what each of the terms means or is. So if, for instance, way back at the beginning, the word mitochondria comes up, well, that's the powerhouse of the cell. That's the site of cellular respiration. And if you can say something like that to yourself, move on to the next word and keep on moving and check off the ones that you know. And don't go back and look at those again. You're not going to forget them. And here's a histology test that was given earlier. I used to use it. I'm not using it this time, but I think some of the pictures are very, very similar. I think it'd be crazy not to look at it. Unfortunately, someone took the screenshot here, and after, I guess, printing it, circling the correct answer, and then sent me these one at a time. This is not required. This is not something I want from you. Okay, this is something I'm showing to you. I don't need it. It's not one of the 4 items that remain. Okay, so that's those 2, and just notice that that's it. That's it. Almost everything that I pointed out to you that is intended now is lab material, P4. So what the heck happened to all the stuff for the final? All the stuff for the final is all the terms that we used. That's it. And that's one big item. Okay. But these are the terms that we used, underlined, had boldface type and discussed. They're in every recording. They all got said and pointed out, and they probably all mostly got tested on as well. The final exam again, is 50 questions, but they're worth 2 points apiece. Okay. When things are worth 2 points apiece, it is absolutely a possibility, and it has happened, that if somebody who is trying to get an A doesn't get an A by 1 point, you can't get 1 point on the test that has 2 points per question. In that rare instance, I just give them the point. So I would not have to worry about that. That's the last thing I wanted to say, and say to your face. There's a lot of people out there with averages, and they point them out to me. Like I have 89.9 average. Normally I round things up, but not on this, not on the final grade. It's by the numbers. So don't tell me what your average is, although it is a good indicator to you how well you need to do. The best indicator of how well you need to do is figure out your grade like we did the other day and see how many points you need. That's what's going to be looked at. Okay. And I'm afraid I won't budge on the fact that if you get an 88 or an 89, you're going to get a B in the class. And if you get a 91, you're going to get an A. We have to have a split someplace. And with all the high scores that are floating out around there, I am afraid, well, not afraid, I expect there are a lot of people feeling pretty good. And I'm afraid, this is what I'm afraid of, that some of those people feeling pretty good are going to feel pretty bad when they can't bring up enough points to keep it above 90 or above. You got to keep it there. Okay. Where will people lose it? I don't think you'll lose it on the practicum. Everybody scores better on the practicum. It's all of our classes. It's going to be on P4. That little 50-point examination, a 50 question, 100-point examination. I make it up fresh each time. I've given you a practice one to look at. It'll be just like that, but different questions. I will just pick different words, make up a question for it, and then put in the possible answers. And the correct one, of course, will be in the group. So please do study that final examination. And I know it's less material actually to study since you can see it all in 1 or 2 pages. Whereas the lab material, you have to see it on 50, 60 odd pages. The final probably will make or break some grades. Okay. Now, if everybody gets an A, I'll be more than happy to turn that in. And I don't expect that to happen, but if it were, that'd be great. That'd be great. Okay, any questions you want of me? Because that's all I really wanted to get across to you right now. Definitely when we come back on Tuesday and you've had opportunity to study over the weekend, anything that gave you trouble or you're confused about, write it down, ask me then, and we can share it with everybody. Okay.
Charlie,
Yes.
I have a question about L3, question 19. Could you later or whenever you have time go over that question? Because I believe it might have 2 answers.
Hang on. what are the two answers you see?
In the paper we have, it says that lucidum is a single layer, and also basal is 1 or 2 layers. So the correct answer is basal.
Okay, I'll check each versus number 19 because you're right. The stratum basal is what I wanted. It's usually 1 layer in thickness. The lucidum is the one we think of as very thick during abrasion. But, you know, when we think that way, and I did, you don't think backwards to when it's not getting abraded, and it can start off as a single cell layer. So I'm not just going to blanket give everybody the 1 point. I'm going to look at your score, okay,
Okay.
before I send it out to you. And if you have either one of these two and it's marked wrong, you'll get 1 point. If you have the one that was marked right, you won't get anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay then. So email me between now and Tuesday with anything that you want to bring up or need to talk about. And have a good weekend.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Bye-bye.